October still. You're like, it's only the first week of October, and it's true. So that's why I'm bringing you into like my Halloween season kind of slow, right? I'm just letting you just kind of drift into it. Deep Zen, fall, autumnal breath in and then out. I'm having a crazy day today. So how's your day doing? How are you guys today? I am swapping up my pumpkin spice bread recipe because I'm going to make some for us to take on our trip, where hopefully we're going to see all the leaves and I'm going to need to wear sweaters. But next week I will have all kinds of videos for you while we are away, and if we can, we're going to do some lives and show you what we're doing while we're traveling and how we're eating. So how's the weather where you guys are today? It looks very fallish and cloudy. The humidity is 90% and it is 79 degrees. So it feels like it's in the 80s, which I could do without. And I am wondering if I am not seeing any comments if something once again made a boo-boo, because usually you guys answer. So I am going to grab my other computer and just double check, or actually, let me see. I might be able to just check on my phone, because the last time this happened, I just couldn't see any of your comments. So let me see. It's always exciting, and this would be the kind of day that I am having. Let's see, can I see? Got it. Yes, there. Oh, the messages just appeared as soon as I saw them here. Ah, big sigh. So today has already not been working out the way I needed it to work out. I missed a podcast interview because I was in the kitchen. My first pumpkin spice blend did not turn out the way I wanted it to. And so I'm doing half of the pumpkin bread recipe that's in the comments or description somewhere around in here, just to double check. And so I'm also trying something that I don't think will even work in there so that I can show you. Oh yay, Darren says, eek, love the decorations. I know, we got this at Cracker Barrel. Oh, okay. Hi, Betsy and Marie. And you know what? It's not the worst day. It's not like I'm in the corner sobbing or anything. But you know, when you just have one of those days where things just aren't clicking. Or also, I'm trying to do too many things before we leave. I teach class tomorrow. So if you're interested, I don't have it up where you can buy it right now, but I wanted to get kind of a Thanksgiving, whole food, plant-based, no oil Thanksgiving class done before Canadian Thanksgiving for the first time ever. And I swear you guys just make your Thanksgiving earlier and earlier. But that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. That's what the class is on. If you are not a part of Kathy's Cooking Club and you would like to come to class, purchase the class. Single classes are $35. There might be a couple of scholarships available. Email me at kathyhester@gmail.com. If you are seeing this and it is 12:30 on Saturday right before the class, it's probably too late to get into the live class if you're rewatching this. But if you're watching it live, what the heck? Let's figure this thing out. Email me at kathyhester@gmail.com and I'll put up something where you can buy it. I have to manually do that. So, oh yeah, Jane's ready for cooler weather. Joanne says it's still summer here. I am so thankful for my all-weather pumpkin pajamas. Maybe we should do a little gratitude stuff going on because I'm feeling a little. And hey, Marilyn and Mona. Savannah, it's cool compared to the summer. That's great. We just keep inching closer to it. Hey, Judy. And one anti-venom, it's low 80s with scattered showers. Ooh, Marie is getting the 30s and 40s yesterday. And it's 81 today in Southern Oregon. That's crazy. Hi, Bailey from Australia, from Brisbane. I am blissfully unaware of the weather outside. I like that. I'm just determined to have the house open. And so I keep kind of getting that summer sweat going. And you know, these are my pajamas. Look, the pants match. Pajamas. Halloween pajamas. And all next week I'm recording videos, so any recorded videos that I get up for you, I'm filming in my pajamas today. Probably tomorrow if I get a few done too. Yep, it's a PJ day. I'm gonna go in hard for getting all the things done. And the good news, and we should probably even talk about this later. Let me go through all this. Oh, Karen says it's 67 in the Boynton area. It's supposed to be in the 50s and 60s over the next couple of weeks. Oh, that would be so exciting. I bought a fuzzy sweater yesterday. 96 for today in Southern California. I thought it wasn't supposed to be that hot. Oh, Joanne says she's having a nasty day too. The sale of our house is in jeopardy. Oh no. The buyers keep wanting discounts for stuff that's not under our control. Ugh. Buying and selling a house is so stressful, both of them. So when we bought this house, I was even calling them saying, what else do you need from me? What else do you need from me? No, we got it all. We got it all. That morning, they're like, oh, I think we should push off the sale because we need this thing. We need another thing from your employer. I was a contractor at the time, and the service I went through is a small company taking a vacation in the Bahamas. So they had to fax me something from the Bahamas so I could buy my house that day. Because I was like, oh no, we're closing today. So we'll all keep you in our thoughts, Joanne, and I'm so sorry. That's just so stressful. Boston, that's what I thought. I thought maybe you're on vacation. Thanks, Debbie. And I'm smelling this, so I'm going to get one of the things out. So I think they're all going to be out. We're going to do this backwards. Because what I had thought, yeah, this is definitely done. Or mostly backwards. I'm going to let it cool a little bit too. But I'm making these muffins for the trip because I need some pumpkin bread. There's no oil in them. I use this King Author gluten-free flour blend, but you could use whole wheat pastry flour, whole wheat flour. You might be able to get away with just using oat flour because we've got a 1/4 cup of flaxseed meal in here, but I'm not sure. But I wanted to show you, okay, how about I show you the actual things? Here we go. All right. And I had an example for you. This is a toothpick that's not clean. Can you guys see that? There you go. See how it came out with all that stuff? This is a new toothpick. And see, it came out clean. You can't see that. There we go. Clean, not clean. So that lets me know these are ready. Since they're in silicone, and I will say that Dr. Steph recommends we don't bake in this, but I did it anyhow. So your mileage may vary. You could always have little cupcake things in your muffin trays so that you don't have to do that. So that's okay too. I'm going to let this cool just a little bit. And then I also am trying this experiment that may or may not work at all, but let's see if they're even ready. I got this weird heart mold. So this may gross some of you guys out. So you of course don't have to do this. So I'm just going to see. Yeah, that's coming out clean. I'm going to let these dry, and you can kind of see their little anatomical hearts. And I think we got this at Michael's, so it was very inexpensive. And by inexpensive, I mean cheaply made too. So we'll let these cool off. We're going to make our mix, and then we'll see how all those come out. If you try in a muffin tin or anywhere else to get those out before they're cool enough, there's going to be a problem. And for me today, they're just going to break into a million pieces. So I'm just going to take a deep breath and let them cool. All right, Fit 49 in Minneapolis. Rachel from upstate New York, I'm headed your way. I know. I feel cozy. I feel a little extra warm, but I feel good. Oh, thanks, Debbie. They are so comfy. I got them at Marshall's. They were really cheap, too. So that helped. And the fact that usually, like, fall pajamas are like flannel and super toasty warm, and those are really glorious except for 80 degree days. And Kathy Mack says, such cute pajamas, super hot here in Northern California. 96 degrees is way too warm for October. I do feel better that you guys are kind of having some of the same kind of weather, if you know what I mean. It makes me not feel so singled out. Oh, and Judy said yesterday was her PJ day. I think it's important to have a PJ day, like a day where you're just not thinking about anything. You can still do stuff around the house, and if you get the time just to cozy up and read a good book, I say do it. But I am trying to cook some, make little packets of food we're going to make along the way on our trip. There's going to be a photo shoot at the conference, so I've got to bring some good witchy clothes. And it looks like we're going to have 2 whole days in Salem if it's not too crowded from us the first time. Cheryl's company, Novelist, is actually based in Massachusetts, and one of the people she's been working with for 15 years offered their driveway for us to park in, and then it's just like a mile walk into downtown Salem. So, and we won't get into the traffic, so we don't have to go into that. I guess that last mile or 2 is where it gets really crazy traffic-wise. So fingers crossed, and everything goes well, we will go live while we're there and hang out with you at least for a coffee or something. So that's the plan. Oh, and Marie, you need to just be here on my shoulder. You know, please take care of yourself, get some fun and rest, and don't get burned out. And it's true. I always get a little bit burnt out before I go on a long trip. And this is kind of our big trip for the year. And we're going to spend 3 days in a conference learning about all the cool, so hopefully the show will get cooler. So that's the goal for going there. But we're also going to have fun, and I love car trips. Cheryl loves driving, and I love just kind of looking at things, and we're going to meander a little bit. So I'm excited about that. Okay, so Joanne says she really needs us to send her those good vibes and thoughts of positivity, because if it doesn't close, she can't buy the next house in Georgia. And Mary Ellen is in Canada. I know, you guys are so quick. And so I'm teaching a class tomorrow, which should be, I think, when I saw it was like, isn't it the 9th is the official Thanksgiving? Hopefully I didn't blow it, but I don't think I did it on that. Like the pan in the large size, like I think I got these at Joann's Fabrics, really cheap. And when I made my banana bread, that's what we used. So that worked really well. You know, it's magic floating around in the green globe. I found this downstairs when I was looking for some of our Halloween dishes. And Cheryl told me, and I don't remember this, that I didn't want to get this. And we got it at Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel has some of the coolest, like, seasonal decorations. And so it's just a thing, and I turn it on and it gets all glowy. And I just love it. So the reason she said not to bake in silicone is because it's fine to use cold. It's not great to use hot. So if you're having some issues or health issues that are being exacerbated by any kind of environmental toxins, look at that. I'm telling you, because most whole food plant-based people who are no oil do bake in silicone. And I'm baking in it too, but they're definitely, she mentioned not doing it before, but I kind of see how things are going, and pick what I'm going to pick. So, but I just wanted to let you guys know. Oh, Nona says that she sent a photo of Rosie in her pram in Messenger. I cannot wait to see. That's going to be delightful. And we have never been to Salem, and we've always thought about it last minute. And why we're going to Salem now, this is because we're actually going to Amesbury, Massachusetts. So we're really close. And since we're driving, we're just coming in a little bit early. And I don't love crowds, so I know October is the most crowded time in Salem. So for those of you who have been saying, I wouldn't go, I lived in New Orleans, and so I lived through lots of Mardi Gras, so I do understand. But also if we go, like, my smallest goal is just to go to like a little witchy coffee shop and look at fall leaves. Like, seriously, if that's all that happens when I go there, I can be satisfied for that. And then we can go hiking somewhere nearby, or just kind of explore some thrift stores or something like that. So we have a backup plan, just know, and we're not going to have to park in Salem. So that's also going to save a lot of headache and hassle. So, and we're talking to people who live in and around Salem to get our advice from. But no, we've never been before, and like, I'm the most easily amused human being alive. Oh, thanks, Tia. It's good to see you here. And no, Maximilian will be going on his own vacation. He goes to the kennel, and he gets played with every day, and we get report cards, and he gets graded on like how he does on the teeter-totter or whatever thing that they're doing with him that day. And he always gets really excited when we tell him, are you ready to go to name of the place, which I'm not going to insert now. I don't want to get, he's taking a nap, and I like it that way. But he gets very excited because there's a routine we do before we go, and then he's always really excited to go, so it makes me feel not as bad leaving him behind. But he's so dog reactive. If we stayed at a hotel that was dog friendly, it would be hard for him. So that's why we don't at the moment take him. He's getting older, and at some point we're probably gonna have to figure out something else to do. Oh, hey Marilyn, 76 in California, 90-degree days here in Sacramento, hot in Rome. And Karen says that's a great plan for Salem. The worst of it is finding parking and a place to eat. Bring a little lunch with you. And we're actually bringing, I'm going to be making some food for us to heat up in the car. Cheryl, and we're gonna do videos about this probably when we get back, or as we're driving we'll put up videos. But Cheryl got this thing we're gonna test, which it's like a cooler, but you plug it in, so it's more of like a refrigerator. And then we have some Hot Logics, and then we have a hot pot that we're going to use, and we're going to bring some dumplings and some rice to cook. So we're being fed at the conference, and we're being fed vegan, which is great, but also we're going to have enough food that if we feel like we're not quite getting what we need, we can go ahead and take care of our food for the whole time. We also did some research into some of the restaurants, and it looked like there were a couple of places we should be able to eat 90% no problem. Oh, hey, Miss Kathy. It's cool and cloudy in Connecticut, and we were almost going to stay with Kathy, but we probably aren't at this point, but it's going to be very interesting. Thank you. I'm glad you like my crystal boo ball. I like that name. I'm stealing it. Yes, you can bake in super cubes. Those are also silicone. Absolutely. And again, I mentioned Dr. Steph because she comes on every month, and I want you to know that's her opinion, because if you're really trying to eliminate all the toxins from everything, there probably would be some other things that I wouldn't do too, but you know. Ooh, yeah, I want to walk through the cemetery. I'm really big on just going to a place and feeling, and this sounds so touchy-feely, I'm sorry for you guys, but I just like to go and feel it. And feel how that place feels and how it feels different from home. Like New Orleans feels really different than here. Sacramento felt different. So it doesn't even have to be like a super fun, super history place. It just feels different to me. And even if I had a dream one time that I was in India, and I've never been to India, and I could feel how India felt differently. So that's why I like to travel. Oh wow, electric Carbarella. Some Putnam family members are buried in Danvers between the Star Police Office. Ooh, okay, we'll have to look at that too. And Debbie says, maybe get to Salem really early. In Venice, I got up as soon as the sun came up, and it was magical seeing the city that way. And we will at least one day. We're not sure where we're stopping along the way, so that could change things. But yeah, I would love to be there early in the morning, and I would love to see the sunset too, if that works out for us. You guys are being awesome and chatty, and I appreciate you. And we are going to make some. I know eventually I'm going to get down here and someone's going to go, are we ever going to cook? Yes, we are. But I needed a little visit with you guys today, evidently. Oh, I like this. And Debbie, yeah, I totally agree. There's some things we have to say to heck with it. If we dig too deep, we're probably going to find something less than stellar in everything we put in and on our bodies, whole foods included. And I agree with that. And the reason sometimes I'll tell you things or give you options is not necessarily because I'm doing it. And it just depends. Like right at this moment, I am less worried about baking in silicone than when my liver enzyme numbers were really high, and I was like, oh, there is nothing I can take for this. If you have liver issues at some point, you just have to have a liver transplant. So I was thinking a very different way with my fatty liver. That's why I've been losing weight and everything else, in case you're new here and didn't know that. But now that that's not what I'm focusing on, I'm being a little more lax with some other things. So you really have to look at it. Like some people are, what was the, what kind of cocoa do you get? Do you only use carob? There's no right or wrong answer for everyone. You just have to pick your battles and what's important to you. And if that's important to you, that's what you should do. But I know when we did the talk with Stacy on Tuesday, someone was saying, well, I read that Japanese sweet potatoes have more sugars in it than regular sweet potatoes. Should I eat less of those? And Stacy was like, no. We getting into that much minutia of things just makes your life harder. If your doctor said you have a certain condition and you can only have X amount of grams of sugar total, including vegetables, that's another story. And I'm sure there's somebody out there who that's happened to. I've never heard of it. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Yeah, oh no, we didn't eat at the Cracker Barrel. So Joanne says it's probably the only thing you found to buy at the Cracker Barrel. Yeah, you can't, it's very difficult to eat vegan there. I think you can get some plain grits, but I'm not positive. They may cook them with milk. We don't eat there. But I am ready to go and see what they got this year. But that's what we do. Oh, and someone said, too bad I don't live by you. I do animal sitting. And Max is a special little bunny. We will find an animal sitter, but it's going to take a lot of hard work from the mommies too, because he is very house protective. That's a whole other story I don't talk about. Okay. Amherst area should be vegan friendly. Yeah, I could not believe how many places we found on Happy Cow around in the area. Oh, and Laney's life came from around that Salem area. My advice, drive to Beverly and take a train. People have said that too. We're going a little bit different way the first day and staying and parking in someone's driveway and walking in. So I think that's going to work. If it doesn't, Beverly and a train, it is. Oh, Coppermine says she or he, they, I can totally relate to a reactive dog with other dogs. Making a lentil loaf for Thanksgiving. I'm going to be making a lentil loaf tomorrow in class. I'm still deciding a few things and tweaking that. Oh, hey, Davinka. Thanks for coming in. It's good to see you. Oh, and you get it too. Oh, good. Because sometimes I feel like a crazy person saying that, in touch with the energy of the place you're in. Like, to me, that's the fun part. And then you just kind of, ooh, this is what it would feel like to live here. Yeah, and New Orleans has a special feeling, and definitely different than any other place. I feel like it's, even, I've been to a lot of different places in Texas, and each place has its own feel, each city. I think sometimes you can even feel like, let's say New Orleans, uptown feels different than mid-city slightly, but you still have that general taste. Oh, and Salem is awesome. I really miss it. I'm so excited to go. Oh, thanks, Davinka. This is my favorite holiday, and we used to do a big Gothic dinner party, and we don't, so I just decided I'm just going to go all in and hang out with you guys and do Halloween. Like, I just love it, and life is too short not to just really enjoy the things that you really enjoy that don't hurt anyone else. Like, if you're a Christmas person, I encourage you to get your Christmas decorations up early. Don't wait for Thanksgiving. If you're a Thanksgiving person, I think that's harder. I don't know how you decorate, but maybe have 2 Thanksgiving dinners and have different people over. And I am just feeling the air conditioning come on. It feels really nice, but I have the whole house open, so I'm going to have to fix that later. Oh, good. Kitty Mama said, I just joined, so I'm glad you didn't start cooking. Good. Because I'm like, oh, good. Okay, I'm almost to the end of this. Electric Carbarella. My husband and I are flying into Charleston in a couple weeks. The plan is to find brown rice takeout and Subway salads to stay on track. I love that. I'm bringing some California balsamic. That's perfect. Let me see if, yeah, here, I'll show you the thing that we're going to be bringing, because we're going to be cooking our oats in this. It's a little big for a suitcase, but it's a lot smaller even than my 3-quart, and this is the main pan, and you can use it just like this. And it's got like low and high. And it's not going to be a slow cooker kind of cooking. It's going to cook a little faster. So it's going to be interesting trying our oats. And we actually did get some vegan dumplings. And we're going to cook some rice in here and have vegan dumplings as a treat, steamed. So I'm super excited about that. Let's see if I can find this anywhere that it's not going to fall. All right. Oh, Denise says, I feel your day. Been there, done that, right? Yeah. Yeah, everything does stick to a regular muffin pan. Oh, no. Oh, you bought silicone to bake in and you're ready to throw it away. I'm curious, though, like my other ones came out great. We'll try these and we'll see. And then I got the cheap ones and we'll see how that works. Hey, Miss Obbs, I'm going to see you in like days, and I can't wait. So I don't know if you're coming into town early, but if you are, email me at kathyhester@gmail.com, and maybe you can hang out with us or something, because that would be lovely. Oh, good. More people are talking about the energy of a place and that I'm not just nuts. And Khaki Blue said, I had that strange connection in the French Quarter in New Orleans. Never felt that anywhere else. It's a very interesting, like, you know, when you guys hear me talk about spice blends and I'm like, it's a little dark, it's the medium, it's the light flavor, you know, like I can smell those. That's kind of how it layers and feelings. And New Orleans, you can feel kind of that darker, more grounded energy in there. It's very interesting to me. And I love to decorate for each of the seasons with lots of LED lights. Oh, I love that. And Justine says, am I getting dressed up in Halloween costumes while I'm in Salem? And I don't know yet. I am going to bring a couple of things because I'm trying, usually just being Kathy. I wear a funny t-shirt and shorts. And so in the conference, I'm trying to decide if I want to dress like witchy Halloween Kathy, but I might once or twice. And we're doing headshots, so I definitely would like a really good, because I bought some new clothes because I needed some smaller clothes, which is very exciting. So, okay. That little gadget is the Itaki Hot Pot. And so it's Itaki. And yeah, you do have to let food cool. I know. Oh, I love hugs from you, especially. And you guys, you should watch Simply Obs. She's pretty awesome. She's not in the vegan community, but what she does is really every day she gives you something to think about and kind of a positive thought. So I think she's pretty awesome. And Karen was saying you have to let food cool before trying to remove it from a silicone pan, and like cool, which is why my stuff is over there, and then I'll tell you later if it was a good idea or not. Yeah, and Kitty Mama's saying the same thing with silicone. You have to wait until what you're making is completely cool, and you can always pop it in the fridge. One day we can pop it outside for a few minutes. I really miss the time when I could use my deck as like a second refrigerator for a few months. I live in Midtown near the Capitol, different energy anywhere else in Sacramento. That's where we stayed in Sacramento. We stayed downtown, like right by the Capitol. And it was very cool. We walked around there a smidge, and we walked around Old Town a smidge when we were there a couple of weeks ago. I know, I did see that the forecast for Massachusetts next week is in the 60s. And I think it's only getting into the 40s. So we'll bring some warmer clothes, but I'm not going to bank on wearing them. There we go. Thank you, Simply Obs, for explaining this, what I was trying to over-explain. Morning Motivational Minute-ish is the show. So you guys go check her out. And let's make some pumpkin bread. Since that didn't fall apart, I think I did okay. So oh no! And if you're talking to me on Facebook, I can't see your name. I just see Facebook user. Yeah, I was there for Chef AJ's Live Your Best Life conference. And maybe that's why I can't stop saying live your best life. So in the recipe on the blog gives you an oil option and an oil-free option. So you do you. It also gives you a gluten-y or non-gluten-y option, and it makes twice as much as what we're making today. I'm using 2 cups of King Arthur gluten-free measure for measure flour. Let me let you see that. Okay. And I think I got this either at Sam's Club or Costco, and I really like it. Is it super awesome for you? No. It's got just regular rice. So the first ingredient is rice flour, then whole grain brown rice flour, whole sorghum flour, tapioca starch, potato starch, cellulose, xanthan gum. So if you're not gluten-free, use whole wheat pastry flour. Don't have whole wheat pastry flour, but have spelt flour or whole wheat flour. Put it in your food processor or blender and blend it until it gets a little bit finer and use that. That's what I used to do with biscuits. So it's pretty easy. Hey Diana, oh, you got a new picture. That's great. And Karen says it'll be cooler in Western Massachusetts. It'll be exciting to find out whatever's going on. Oh, and Mona says she loves this flour too, and I like it a lot. It really makes things easy, and if you're trying to switch off to being a little bit gluten-free, then there you go. So we're going to mix our dry ingredients in here, except for one special ingredient we're going to put in the blender. I'm going to double check that this is baking powder, and I'm going to do 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And like I said, I cut the recipe in half that you have access to, because I knew I wanted to test it. And I'm going to do half a teaspoon of baking soda. And did you guys know this trick? That's how you level it out. It's that little piece of metal. And I'm skipping the salt because, no other good reason, just because I want to. We're going to put a tablespoon of cinnamon. We're going to put a teaspoon. Nope. Oh, I see. I switched the tops by mistake. Can you see that says nutmeg? You can't see that. Just believe me. Ground allspice. We're going to do a teaspoon of that. So we'll do 2/2 teaspoons. And I don't worry too much if I get just a smidge more, because that's the kind of gal I am. We're going to put 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg in here. And it's all these aromatic spices that make it taste like fall. 1 teaspoon of cardamom. Cardamom is one of my favorite spices, and I just love it. And then we did the nutmeg. I'm going to do like 1/8 teaspoon of cloves. These cloves are really strong, so if you got new cloves, use less. If you have old cloves, you might need to put more in. But either way, there's no shame. And I'm just going to get a spoon and mix all of our dry ingredients together. Now, the one dry ingredient that we're not putting in here, and I just want to mix it up. It's easy with the white flour and the spices to see. See how that got all dark? To see that it's been mixed up well. We don't always have that, but so try and like get in from the bottom. And that's just usually a helper thing to do. And Denise's Happy Cow app is great for vegan stuff, and it really is. There we go. So I feel like that's pretty good. And now we're going to do the wet ingredients. And I do see Facebook user has, oh, Tia says I want to make this recipe later today. And go ahead and make the double recipe. It uses an entire 1.5 can of pumpkin. You could add applesauce instead of the 1/2 cup oil. You could add water. It's really however you want to work it out. This is about 8 to 9 medjool dates. I think these may be 9. They looked like they were in more deglet noir, or however you say that, than medjools. They weren't. So, and I soaked them in 1.5 cups of water. For the previous batch, I had to add some more water. That could be non-dairy milk. I just don't want to make any up. So, but I'm leaving it with the soaking water. And if you're like, I want to make this now, I don't want to soak them overnight, literally these, I put in the water and put in the microwave. Or you could pour boiling water on them and let them sit for 10 or 15 minutes. I'm just trying to make these a little more whole food plant-based, and dates are the most whole of all the sweeteners. Tomorrow's class is at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Kathy's Cooking Club members. Why do I say that? Because everybody's going to be looking to find me at 1, and you're not going to find me. Okay, we've got that. And I ended up putting in another 1/2 cup of water. And so I may do that too. I am going to put in 1/4 cup of ground flax seeds. And this is the ingredient, the dry ingredient. I just want it to kind of soak up some of this while we're blending. And we're going to put about 1 cup of pumpkin in here. This could be from a can. This could be from a pie pumpkin you made puree from. And we are going to do that this month for sure. And I cleaned this, so I'm just going to try and get that little bit of pumpkin off of there. And, oh wait, we needed 1/2 cup of water in the other one. And then I want to like about a teaspoon of vanilla in here. And then we'll blend it. And I'll just double check as far as, do we need that extra water or not? Mona, if you email me, you can join in the single class. So just email me and I'll get, and if somebody else is interested, email me and I will put it up to buy, but I will take care of that. And you also, if you buy a single class, you get that class for as long as I have classes up. So it's kind of indefinite. If all the places to host classes shut down, or if someday in my 90s I retire, both things I'm not expecting, then you wouldn't have access anymore. But I've been having these classes up 5 years, maybe longer. They're over 110. I think there's like 114 classes that are up there now. So when you join Kathy's Cooking Club, you get the access to come live to the 2 classes being filmed that month, but you also get to watch all the ones that have ever happened, as long as you're a member. I can tell you for a fact I'm going to need that other half cup of water because this is already so thick. I'm going to put about a half cup in here and we can add some more if we need to. Almost always when I'm experimenting, since I'm not a real baker, I almost always up the flaxseed because that really makes things more forgiving as far as mistakes go. And Marilyn says she's going to try this with Bob's Red Mill Gluten-Free All-Purpose Baking. Is that the one that has lots of chickpea flour in it? Or is that the other one? Yeah, a good lentil loaf. And I do have a really good one. I may change it up just a little bit. But Cheryl's really excited about it. And we're going to eat it on the trip too. Let's see if I missed anything else. Oh, hey, Angela. It's great to see you. And hopefully you guys saw Kathy keeps a jar of dates and water in her fridge, which is great. Be like Kathy, that Kathy, not this Kathy. But it's also nice to have things that you can do at the last minute that's not going to really make anything horrible. And we have a kettle for water for tea, and I boil water in that for soy curls, for dates, if I want some nuts really fast, to blend into something or make into milk. If they're not cashews, that all works really well. All right. And you could add in like some nuts or something like that if you wanted to. But again, I'm trying to keep this more compliant, and I would like to keep this flour in the bowl too. And we'll see if I need a little more water. This is exactly the amount I needed for the ones I did right before this. Yeah, I think this is going to work well. And usually I go ahead and I get a spatula too. We want to make sure that everything on the bottom, and that's why I'm kind of, I don't know, let's see if you can see it more this way. We're getting those clean streaks. So, because before there was powder down there, and I find that a real easy way. We're going to cook these on 350 for about 15 to 20 minutes. I'm using the Breville, so it's going to be a little bit less time than that. And I ended up having about a scoop and a half of these. So I just usually use this to get them to be consistent, but you don't really have to. Oh, Tia, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Let's see. Oh, one anti-venom. I'm making the pumpkin hummus today. Do you have the recipe up? No. It is in the Easy Vegan book, and you can email me. Since I didn't get I'm hoping while I'm driving, I'm going to try and get some of the recipes up and things, but I also might just try to have vacation. That doesn't always happen with me. So if I don't get it up next week, I'll get it up the week after. Okay. Awesome. Oh, hey, Lydia. I feel like it's been a long time since we've seen you. Is that right? Okay, so usually what I do is then I just take this. Now, the ones that I did are about a scoop and a half that we'll see. And see, this way, now you guys don't have to wait till I bake these. You'll get to just see it. That was the plan, but the plan, I didn't know you guys were going to want to be as chatty with me as I wanted to be with you, so I'm going to do about 1.5. And this is how I make banana bread too. And what I'll do for us, for the trip, what I really want is to have treats so that we don't feel like, oh, well, we should stop at that cool vegan donut shop on whatever. No, we have our sweets. We'll be good. And then I just kind of, and there we go. And I know I have some more dough, and I should get it in the oven really fast, but I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, let me just, yeah, we'll trade these out. These aren't perfectly cool, but they're a lot cooler than they were. And I'm going to put them on 350, and I'm going to check them in about, let's see, I think it was here. I always forget, on the Breville over here, it tells you, so this is the baking one. And I'm going to take the time to 20 minutes. And then let's see what we can do with the ones that just happened. So I'm going to, and let's see. I know, Gina. Oh, Gina, haven't seen you in a long time either. And Gina says vacation. Yes, I do need to. And I'm getting lots of votes for vacation. So sometimes I get bored in the car, so it's good for me to have things to do. But I could also read like a cozy Halloween mystery. So I'm going to have both going. Okay, awesome. Ingredients are chickpea flour, and this is for the regular Bobs. Chickpea flour, potato starch, tapioca, whole grain sorghum, and fava. You react to xanthan gum. I forget about that. So that's a good blend. I find sometimes the chickpea flour changes the flavor for some of the baked goods. So I like their 1-to-1, but their 1-to-1 probably has xanthan gum in it too. And Kitty Mommy says, I don't care for the gluten-free flours out there, weird aftertaste. I've been grinding flours in my Vitamix and use a combination. Yeah, absolutely. I've used oat, sorghum, and millet. I actually have a grain mill, so hopefully I'll be doing more of my own blends soon. Yeah, there's nothing. Oh, you know, I'm on Amazon Unlimited. So that's where you can get all the Kindle books you can hold. And it varies per publisher to publisher, but there's tons of good witch ones. And I'm reading, they're not intellectual fodder. I just want you guys to know that. But like there's lots of witch inherits a newspaper, and now all these mysteries happen. Witch inherits a middle-aged lady inherits a bookstore and realizes she's the witch, and things happen. So yeah, I'm not going for great art. Oh, good. And Tia also mills her own flowers. And Betsy says, if you were to be sacrilegious in the month of October, you do not have to eat all the pumpkin. I support you in that. So Would you just follow the recipe in a similar amount of mushed bananas? Yeah, that should work just fine too. Or you could do even applesauce and banana. That would work great. And Marilyn says, I try to avoid so many starches, but sometimes want something ready-made so I don't have to measure and grind so many flours. Yeah. And I know, they are very fun, and they are not art. And I love them. Okay, actually, let's do it this way so you can see. So it's still slightly warm to the touch, but what I do usually is I push up from the bottom like this, and then they come out. I didn't cure this. This was cheap. I got it, here actually, let's do it this way. I got it at Joann's Fabric. I think I paid possibly $3 for it. It does have a nice wire around the end. It is not as nice as, let's say, the Super Cube ones. But the trick is to wait until it cools. Like honestly, normally I would let this cool more. Now there's no oil in it, so it does look a little deserty on top, and I'm fine with that. I really am. Okay, so let's see if these guys did what I wanted them to do. It may not. So, ooh, but it may have, huh? It looks like it's coming out good. And this one was super cheap. You guys! I'm so happy I don't even know what to say. And if I'm grossing you guys out, I'm so sorry. But yeah, so this was a little less, I think, than 1 cup of batter. And I really pushed things down and moved things up into these crevices with a spatula. So see how most of the time when it's ready, it will almost fall out without you doing anything. So this one isn't quite as perfect. Well, actually, neither one of them are perfect. They are perfectly imperfect. And oh, the desserts I'm going to make in these, you guys. So and I'm going to try and put some more batter in there and see how that holds up while we're talking. That's what I'm going to do with the rest of my batter. I'll show you. Oh, it's going to be, well, it's not going to be impossible to clean, but you're going to have to get in there with kind of like a pipe cleaner probably. This stuff is just kind of coming off. And the things that look black on there, it's just where I had some batter smushed. So I'm just going to get the batter out of any of the little heart molds. Normally I would wash it, but I don't think I have time for that right now. Okay. And I'm going to put it in a different one because I don't think I have 6. I think I used about 2 scoops of batter. And see, I want to make sure that I'm getting it. See how it's not wanting to go into those little crevices? So I'm going to take a little spatula. And I'm literally, this is not what you normally do with muffin dough. I'm actually getting in here and pushing that batter into the little vessels or arteries. I don't know which ones they are. They are veins, arteries, whatever piece of the heart that is. And I could take some of this off, but I want to make sure that I'm pushing it in so it's getting all the way to the bottom of that mold. And then what I did is I scraped it off. That's how I got these little things, is I just tried to scrape it as flat as I could. Okay, let's do another one. Let's try it with just 1 scoop. Let's see. Oh, good. You're appreciating the camera angles. You're appreciating seeing all these little bits of muffin falling off everywhere? Probably not, but you know, I think we could do it with just 1 because those rose a lot. So I'll try that and see if I can get more out of it and if that works. But this could be a ghost mold. This could be a skull mold. This could be a pumpkin mold. The reason I didn't use my pumpkin pans that are in the picture of the recipe on the blog is because those are metal. And this would stick to it for sure with no oil in it at all. Okay. And Kathy says sometimes Aldi has these silicone reinforced pans. And she has an 8x8 she uses. And I think that's awesome. Okay. Let's see if maybe, I think I might have enough to make 4 more. Because now, how fun will it be that these little hearts are our snacks for while we're in Salem? And let me get a good spatula, and I'm going to rinse my hands, doing all the things real quick. The batter tastes delicious, though. And I will say, any baked good that doesn't have oil is often a little bit gummy. And that's okay. I don't find a big issue with that personally. And I'm just scraping some of this so I can get another scoop of it. There's a little bit. I'm not going to waste any of this, but I'm not trying to do a scoop and a half this time. And I'm going to have to wash my hands again because I just got a big fistful of batter. I am not a neat baker, you guys. In case it should come as no shock to anyone. We'll just do it like that. Let me also just kind of get some of this away so you don't have to look at it. And then I'll come back and get these in their molds well. But I'm super excited that that turned out okay. The other thing is if you're using, like, so the other mold that I used had wire in it. This doesn't. This is the cheapest of the cheap molds. So you want to put it on a cookie sheet if you're putting it in the oven, or you want to put it on like a baking sheet like this if you are doing it in your air fryer or toaster oven. And you guys, I will do a lot of work for Halloween. I have teeny tiny ghost crackers that for my Ghoulish Gourmet, I cut out crackers in teeny tiny bite sizes. So you don't have to. These are also just as good in a cake pan, and you could like stencil pumpkin spice on it into a face. Like, make it as easy as you need it to be. Don't make it harder. Says the person who makes everything as difficult as possible. Did anybody else's mom say actually out loud, do as I say, not as I do? Because my mom did, because she was a smoker. And I said, you tell me not to smoke, and then you're smoking. And that's when I got the do as I say, not as I do. And I do my best to give you guys all the options that you may want and knowledge to make it work for you. But sometimes, you know, there may be some holidays I'm not willing to quite go as far as I am for Halloween, because it's my favorite. But you might be willing to go much further for Christmas or Thanksgiving or something cool like that that's your favorite holiday. Because it's really that it's our favorites what matters. All right, let's see what we got here. And I'm going to put this in after this is done, but in here I'll open one of these. I'm just still so excited. Look, I feel like I could wear it like a brooch. Okay, so I couldn't. But if I could make it into a hat, I would. I really thought that these were going to crumble and not be anything else. So I'm going to open this up. Let's do it where you can see it. Hopefully it'll open up easily. There we go. So see, it is dry. It is dry on top. And but inside it's pretty nice and moist. The crumb is going to be slightly gummier than if you had used oil. So see how it doesn't quite spring back the same way? And that's just being honest. In the recipe, if you're not whole food, plant-based, no oil, you could use oil. But honestly, I don't think they're any better with it. This is the first time I've made them with dates. They're nice and super spicy. And you could use maple syrup or brown sugar instead of dates, if that's what you have and you're okay with that as a sweetener. You could also use banana puree, pumpkin puree, date puree, pureed pears for the fat if you didn't want to just add extra pumpkin like I did. They do look like little feet that way, don't they? But not this way. But yeah, and so when we did the McDougall program, I made 2 pans of these, but I made banana bread. I made banana chocolate chip bread because we weren't doing chocolate in any other form for those 12 days, and I knew Cheryl was going to miss it. And sometimes what I like to do with no oil quick bread is I like to toast it. It gives it a really nice texture, and I don't know, there's just something really yummy. You could also cut it in half or cut it in half this way, and you could put a little scoop of oatmeal vanilla ice cream in there, and it's pretty good. Linda says my father's favorite phrase, do as I say, not as I do. That's awesome. If I were to use maple syrup, let me go see if I can find the recipe. I did not bring the exact recipe up here with me. I just did the one, I redid it the way I wanted to do it. So I'll find it and then I'll share it with you too so you guys can see it. Pumpkin bread. Okay, it's getting there. I think this should share it. Here we go. All right, so you can see my exciting pictures. That's from a pan that this one wouldn't do so well on. Pumpkins. All the stuff for Google. There's a whole bunch of vegan Thanksgiving recipes in here too, including this vegan Thanksgiving for 2, which you make in a small slow cooker. So I would recommend that. So the recipe as is, and again, it's double what I did. So 4 cups of flour, a tablespoon, 2 teaspoons ground cinnamon, all that stuff. So in the wet ingredients, I have 2 cups of packed brown sugar. I did about 9 dates and 1.5 cups of water. And then I ended up adding another half cup of water. So it would be 2 cups of water and about 10 dates soaking in it. So if I was going to do maple syrup, I would start with a cup, taste it, see if it needed another half cup. And I'm just realizing right now I took everything in half except for the ground flaxseed. I decided it was a half cup. So it works and it's delicious as is. So there you go. Let me come back. Let me see if I can come back to here to where you guys are. Possibly. There we go. All right. So I added more flaxseed in here than I needed to. And it doesn't, if anything, maybe there's a little bit of a nutty taste, but I think it's great. So that's how my real world cooking happened. I do have filmed for you guys already for next week a pumpkin spice blend, an apple pie spice blend, and there's some other stuff I have on my list that hopefully I can get a few things done so you can get a couple of Halloween videos next week. And I may go ahead and break apart some of the stuff from Chef AJ's live that I did, well, my live on Chef AJ's show, because she gave me the recording as well. Right? They're easy and they're not bad for you. I mean, that all depends on what bad for you means to you, but they're healthier than the original recipe for sure. Let's see. Stephanie says she's been watching for a while, but waiting for a wireless keyboard to charge. I know how that is. Oh, I wish there was Taste of Vision too, Linda. But you guys, I have Spooky Heart pumpkin breads. So my day is turning around. I think it's official. I think I'll get a couple more videos out for you guys in my jammies. So next week, if you see me, you'll either see me out and about in the Northeast or in my jammies being filmed, you know, having a replay. I want you guys to still be able to talk to each other in the comments, so I'm going to make it as a premiere, and I might try something else different, but we'll just see. But anyhow, if you're interested in coming to Thanksgiving class tomorrow, even if it's Saturday morning, you can probably still email me, but if it's Saturday at 11 and no one's emailed me, you'll get the replay, okay? But I think Mona's going to email me, so that'll work out. All right, you guys. Oh, thank you, One Anti-Venom. You guys have brightened up my whole day because, you know, all it takes is for one thing to start to kind of sour, and then it's very easy to let that take your whole day down. And I'm also trying to do all the things. And I have 2.5 days to do all the things, and I need to just take a deep breath. If you guys only get a couple of videos next week instead of videos every day, the world will not end. I will miss you, but then I'll have more to say to you when I come back. Yeah, it's, you know, it's really easy, and I think it's just something nice. Now, what I did do and what I normally will do, let's see, those have about 4 more minutes on them, is, and while I like these square ones, is I freeze them. So they fit into a bag really well, and then we can just take one out at a time, heat it up when we're ready to eat it. So it's not like having a thing of muffins around constantly. We will be doing that in the car, but in the car the goal is to not get crap along the way. So whereas normally we wouldn't eat these every day, we might on the trip, because this is still way better than getting a muffin somewhere else, right? Still the same kind of flavors. I'm making cold brew coffee, bringing some syrups. I'm going to bring my Archmira so I can make us like tea lattes at night with oats and an herbal kind of chai. And so we're going to have all these really nice little treats, but they're going to be treats we could have even if we were at home. So that's how we're looking at trying to keep our 90% going. Oh, thank you guys so much. Darren says those heart pumpkin breads look so spooky and so awesome. Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed hanging out. We were glad to have you here. I know. They look kind of even spookier than I thought they would. Here, one more for the road. Ooh. Ah, spooky. Okay. You guys encourage me, and I appreciate you all so, so very much. I just want you to know, and all the great trip wishes. There is a tiny possibility I might pop on live tomorrow morning and make us a pumpkin spice latte. I will either record it or pop on live. If I do, that would probably be 10, 11-ish. But Any ideas for pudding or vegan Jello for the molds? You can get vegan plain Jello and flavor it, and then you could color it with like beet juice or black carrot juice, or you could gel up some orange juice. I had before gotten a vegan, I think it's Clear Gel is the brand. It's like agar, I think. And I have a heart mold. And that's what we would use, a little jiggly red heart mold. Oh, good. I'm so glad you're liking the October lives. I'm still waiting for the people who are going, boo, boo, when's it going to be over? But you guys are being awesome. Oh, Kathy. Well, Kathy, if we end up meeting up, it may be kind of old, but we might have one for you. If we end up meeting on the way home, that could be, you may not want them then. No, I did not just get a Breville. I had a Breville. I got a Ninja because someone was asking me some questions about it. And I switched back to the Breville for the summer because I do more dehydrating and we use it more than we use our oven. So the Ninja's just over there along with like a graveyard of kitchen appliances. Oh, and thank you guys so much. You guys are just the absolute best. So stay tuned for more holiday goodness, and just see which, let me see how I want to put this. For today, I just want you to find the joy you found kind of as a kid in something. And that's what Halloween is to me. Like when I was a kid, it wasn't like haunted houses and stuff like that. And I don't like super scary serial killer kind of Halloween stuff. That's not my vibe. Like spooky, creepy, fun, kid kind of stuff is more my speed. And I used to, this is back probably in 1970. We had these little cardboard cutouts we'd put in the windows for Halloween, and I would listen to the Haunted Mansion album, and it would just be thrilling and transport me and my imagination to some really fun place. And I like it because we get to dress up and we get to play. And so whatever that means for you, if it's Christmas, if it's, some other holiday that I don't even know about that you're going to teach me about in the future, just really kind of check in with that inner kid. Read something fun and frivolous, just absolutely frivolous, or watch a reality TV show or something. I mean, just something that's not, I'm having to really think really hard and work really hard. Let yourself relax, and I'm going to do my best to do the same thing today. Oh, good. All right, guys, have an amazing, magical rest of your day, and I might just see you tomorrow. You never know.